Okay, good morning, class. Let us again continue with the last few articles on the different kinds of obligations. Again, as I always say, please listen very well so you will understand the topic. I tell you, these articles or these topics will be of big help to you when you finish your course and hopefully put up your own business. So please listen and try to understand very well. Again, if you have some questions, feel free to ask them. You write them in our chat box, or you can send a message through our group chat. So please be attentive. Okay, now let us start with Article 1193, and that is an obligation with a period. Now, Article 1193 states, obligation for whose fulfillment a day certain has been fixed shall be demandable only when that day comes. The second statement states that obligation with a resolutory period take effect at once but terminate upon arrival of the day certain. Now let us define what is a day certain. Now a day certain is understood to be that which must necessarily come, although it may not be known when. So ibig sabihin, it is a date or a period which is going to come. Kaya lang, hindi natin siya alam kung kailan siya darating. Now, if the uncertainty consists in whether the day will come or not, the obligation is conditional, and it shall be regulated by the rules of the preceding section 1125A. Now, before we discuss Article 1193, let us first define what is a period. Now, a period is the length of time which determines the effectivity or the extinguishment of an obligation. So let us discuss the first sentence. Obligation for whose fulfillment a day certain has been fixed shall be demandable only when that day comes. Now, the first sentence of Article 1193 discusses about suspensive period. Now, take note that a suspensive period, it is sometimes known as ex-die. Now, wherein, if the period or day which has been fixed by the parties will come, then the obligation becomes demandable immediately. And take note that in a suspensive period, the fulfillment of the obligation can only be demanded when the period or day that has been set will come. Kapag wala pa yung day or period which has been set, you cannot demand for the fulfillment of the obligation. Now, para mas maintindihan nyo, let's have an example. For example, I will give you a car on December 25, 2021. Okay, this is a suspensive period, or it is also known as ex-die. Why is it a suspensive period? Kasi take note, sa date na yon, malayo pa yung December 25, 2021. So, from this day, hanggat hindi dumating ang December 25, 2021, you cannot demand me to give you the car. Maididemand mo lang na ibibigay ko sa iyo yung kotse pag yung date ay December 25, 2021. So, yun po yung ibig sabihin ng suspensive period. The performance of the obligation has been suspended because of the period or time which has been set. And the fulfillment of the obligation becomes demandable when the day or the period will come. Doon mo lang pwedeng i-demand yung fulfillment ng obligation. Now, the second sentence discusses about a resolutory period, wherein if the resolutory period will come, it will extinguish the obligation. So, parang kabaliktaran ng isa. Para mas maintindihan nyo what is a resolutory period, let's have an example. So, let us say, for our example, I will give you 1,000 pesos until December 25, 2021. So, this is an example of a resolutory period. Now, take note that a resolutory period is also known as in-dime. Now, ano ang pagkakaiba nitong resolutory period? Now, resolutory period, ang ibig sabihin nito, kasi doon sa example natin, I will give you 1,000 pesos monthly until December 25, 2021. So, ibig sabihin, every month, hanggat hindi dumadating ang December 25, 2021, I am obliged to give you 1,000 pesos. So, meaning, my obligation to give you the 1,000 pesos is already ongoing. However, my obligation of giving you the 1,000 pesos will extinguish or will stop when December 25, 2021 is going to come. So, yun po yung isang example ng resolutory period. So, in a resolutory period, the obligation is ongoing and it will only extinguish the obligation once the period is going to come. Now, let us continue with the obligation with the period. Now, as what I've said a while ago, a suspensive period is known as ex-dime, wherein the period makes the obligation demandable. So, pag dumating yung period, the obligation is demandable. Now, in a resolutory period or in dime, yung example natin kanina, the period will terminate the obligation. So, yun po ang pagkakaiba ng suspensive period at saka resolutory period. Now, a period can also be classified according to its definiteness. Now, period can be classified into two. We have the definite period and the indefinite period. Okay, to have an example of a definite period, I will give you a car on December 25, 2021. Now, this is an example of a definite period. Why? Because the date is fixed. So, it is definite. The date is fixed. It is exact. Alam natin kung kailan gagawin yung obligation. So, it is on December 25, 2021. It is fixed. Now, so, pag naka-fix yung date, ang ibig sabihin niyan, it is definite. So, hindi lang December 25. Any date na naka-fix, it would be classified as a definite period. Now, pag sinabi naman natin siyang indefinite, it will happen, but we don't know when it is going to happen. Now, I'll give you an example. Let us say our example is, I will give you a car if you pass the board exam. So, the obligation is suspended or it is not yet being done. Why? Because there is the condition that you should pass the board exam before I'm going to give you the car. So, the date is not fixed. Hindi natin alam kung kailan siya papasa. Pwedeng papasa siya next month, next year, or many more years to come. Depende yan sa iyong performance doon sa board exam. But for sure, it is going to happen as long as you are going to pass the board exam. So, it is indefinite. Hindi natin alam kung kailan siya mangyayari. We are sure that it will happen, but we do not know when it is going to happen. Yun ang ibig sabihin ng indefinite period. So, ibig sabihin, hindi natin alam kung kailan darating. So, it all depends on you. Now, there are three requisites of a period para ma-classify ito na period. it must refer to the future. So that is self-explanatory as what we have with our two example. So future yan. Then it must be certain or the period is going to come. And it must be possible. Ibig sabihin, mangyayari. So yun ang tatlong requisites of a period. It must refer to the future, it must be certain, and it must be possible. Okay, so let us now go with the comparison between a condition and a period. Now, a condition, that is an uncertain event. So, yung event ay uncertain. Now, sa period naman, the event is certain. Now, in a condition, now it affects the existence of the obligation, while a period affects the demandability of the obligation. Now, in a condition, it has retroactive effects, while a period, it has no retroactive effects. Now, a condition, a suspensive condition left to the will of the debtor makes the obligation void o kaya invalid, while a suspensive period left to the will of the debtor makes the obligation still valid. Now, a condition may refer to a future certain event or to past events unknown to the parties, while a period only refers to a future day certain. So, yun ang pagkakaiba or yun ang difference between a condition and a period. Okay, now let us continue. Let us go with Article 1194. This discusses about loss, deterioration, and improvement of a thing during dependency of the period. Now, Article 1194 states that in case of loss, deterioration, or improvement of the thing before the arrival of the day certain, the rules in Article 1189 shall be observed. Now, we already have discussed this before in Article 1189, and I'm sure you are familiar with this table. Now, through fortuitous event or fortuitous event by nature, if the thing is lost, the debtor's liability is extinguished. If the thing deteriorates, now it shall be borne or it shall be shouldered by the creditor. However, if it improves, now it should be for the benefit or the enjoyment of the creditor. Now, if the thing is lost through debtor's fault or action, then the debtor is liable for the damages. However, if it deteriorates, the creditor may choose between recession and damages, or when you say recession or damages, or fulfillment and damages. Now, if there is an improvement, the debtor may remove improvement provided that the thing will not be damaged by reason of removal, or he can offset any improvement or damages he may pay by reason of deterioration of the thing through his fault. So, yun po yung mga dapat gagawin if there is a loss, deterioration, and improvement of a thing during the pendency of the period. Okay, next we have Article 1195, that is the rights of the debtor in an obligation with the period. Now, Article 1195 states that anything paid or delivered before the arrival of the period, the obligor being unaware of the period or believing that the obligation has become due and demandable, may be recovered with the fruits and interest. Now, para mas maintindihan natin itong Article 1195, let's have an example. Now, let us say on January 1, 2021, Alex borrowed 10,000 pesos to Aleta, which is to be paid on January 1, 2023 with an annual interest rate of 6%. So, itong si Alex, humiram siya ng 10,000 kay Aleta on January 1, 2021. Now, ang agreement is it is to be paid after 2 years, and that is due on January 1, 2023. So, yun po yung period, 2 years. Ang interest rate na ibabayad ni Alex ay 6% per year. Now, let us say, on January 1, 2022, itong si Alex, nagkaroon siya ng pera, tapos nalimutan niya na yung utang pala niya kay Aleta ay 2 years yung period. Yang akala niya ay demandable na yung inutang niya. So on January 1, 2022, itong si Alex, binayaran niya ngayon si Aleta. Binalik niya yung 10,000 pesos plus 1,200 na interest. Kasi 6% per year. So, ang interest na ibabayad ni Alex sa isang taon ay 600. So, 2 taon yan. So, ang ibabayad niya ay 1,200. So, ang binalik niyang pera kay Aleta ay 11,200. That is on January 1, 2022. Now, let us say after 2 weeks, na halongkat ngayon ni Alex yung agreement nila Aleta at saka si Alex na yung palang inutang niya ay hindi pa due on January 1, 2022. At nakita niya na ito ay due pa pala on January 1, 2023. Now, what will now be the obligation of Aleta? So, ang obligation ni Aleta, pag nagdemand itong si Alex na ibabalik niya yung pera, ang obligation na Aleta ay ibabalik niya yung 10,000 pesos plus yung 600 pesos na interest para sa susunod na taon. Yung 600, hindi na niya ibabalik yon kasi yun yung interest from January 1, 2021 to January 1, 2022. So, ang ibabalik lang ni Aleta ay yung 10,000 plus yung 600 na interest, which is supposed to be paid for January 1, 2022 to January 1, 2023. So, mayroong right dito si Alex na i-demand si Aleta na ibalik yung payment by mistake na naibigay niya. Kasi, pwede pa niyang gamitin yung pera for the whole duration of the year at pwede pang kumita. So, yun po ang ibig sabihin ng Article 1195, the rights of the debtor in an obligation with a period. Okay, next, let us go with Article 1196, that is the benefit of a period in an obligation. Now, Article 1196 states that whenever in an obligation a period is designated, it is presumed to have been established for the benefit of both the creditor and the debtor, unless from the tenor of the same or other circumstances, it should appear that the period has been established in favor of one or of the other. So, ang general rule natin dito, whenever in an obligation a period is designated, it is presumed to have been established for the benefit of both the creditor and the debtor. So, unless the tenor of the same or other circumstances, it should appear that the period has been established in favor of one or of the other. So, let's have an example. So, dito sa Article 1196, pinapakita dito na itong period ay mayroong is beneficial to both the creditor and the debtor. So, yun po ang ating assumption. Ibig sabihin, Yung period na nakalagay doon sa kanilang agreement is both beneficial to the creditor and the debtor. So let's have an example para mas maintindihan natin. Now, Alex borrowed 500,000 pesos with 15% interest from Aleta. The principal and interest will mature after 12 months. So, yun po yung example natin. Now, in this example, Alex cannot force Aleta to accept payment before the maturity. So, ibig sabihin, kunyari si Alex umutang ng 500,000 pesos. Ngayon, itong si Alex, dahil gusto niyang makatipid doon sa interest, let us say after 6 months, kumita na itong si Alex ng malaki. Dahil ayaw na niyang magbayad ng interest na 15% kasi yung 15% is for 12 months, let us say after 6 months ay nakaipon na siya ng perang pangbayad kay Aleta, hindi pwedeng pilitin ni Alex na i-accept ni Aleta yung bayad on the 6 months period. Why? Kasi pag pinilit ni Alex yan, madi-deprive si Aleta doon sa additional 7.5% na interest. Kasi pag 6 months lang, ang babayaran lang ni Alex ay 7.5%. Ang kailangan ni Aleta doon sa kanilang agreement ay, doon sa period ay 12 months. So, hindi po pwede na pilitin ni Alex na i-accept ni Aleta yung bayad at ang interest rate ay kanyang i-reduce. We cannot do that. Especially if there is an agreement with a period. So, yun po ang ibig sabihin nito. Kasi hindi ma-maximize ni Aleta yung kanyang earnings. Not unless na after 6 months, itong si Alex ay magbabayad kay Aleta, pero ang babayaran niyang interest rate ay yung full na 15%. Pwede po yun. Pero kung ang gagawin ni Aleta, ay ni Alex ay after 6 months magbabayad na ako, pero i-reduce mo yung interest rate sa 7.5%, hindi po pwede yan. Hindi pwedeng gawin ni Alex or hindi niya pwedeng pilitin si Aleta na tanggapin yung 7.5% na interest. Kasi ang kanilang agreement ay 15% on a 12-month period. So they have to wait for 12 months para makuha ni Aleta yung 15% na interest na kita. On the other hand naman, let us say si Aleta ay nagipit or mayroon siyang mahigpit na pangangailangan, hindi rin niya pwedeng pilitin si Alex na magbayad before the maturity. Maski na anong pilit ni Aleta, maski sabihin pa ni Aleta na maski hindi ka na magbayad ng interest, bayaran mo lang ako, Aleta cannot do that, or Aleta cannot force Alex to pay her, not unless hindi dumadating yung maturity na 12 months. Kasi it will also deprive Alex from making use of the money for the 12-month period. So, yun po yung ibig sabihin ng benefit of a period in an obligation. So, dapat dito sa Article 1196, pag meron kang agreement with the period, it is presumed that it was established for the benefit of both the creditor and the debtor. Okay, so let us continue and let us go with Article 1197. Now, Article 1197 discusses about an instance when the court may fix the period. Now, Article 1197 states that if the obligation does not fix a period, but from its nature and the circumstances, it can be inferred that a period was intended, then the court may fix the duration thereof. The court shall also fix the duration of the period when it depends upon the will of the debtor. In every case, the court shall determine such period as may under the circumstances have been probably contemplated by the parties. Once it is fixed by the court, the period cannot be changed by them or by the parties. Now, let us go when a court may fix a period. Now, the court may fix a period if the obligation does not fix a period, but from its nature and circumstances, it can be inferred that a period was intended. And another one is if the period is void, such as when it depends upon the will of the debtor. Then the third is if the debtor binds himself when his means permit him to do so. That is stated in Article 1180. Now, para mas maintindihan natin itong when can a court fix a period, let's have an example. Let us say Mr. A executed a deed of donation of a land in favor of B University. The donation has for its condition that B University should erect a cornerstone on the said land bearing the word a campus. Now, take note that in this example, si Mr. A hindi niya nilagay kung kailan dapat ipatayo yung nire-require niyang cornerstone na ang nakasulat ay a campus. So, walang nakasulat kung kailan dapat gawin ni B University. So, kung si B University ay mag-aantay kung kailan gustong paitayo ni Mr. A itong cornerstone na ito, then they cannot oblige Mr. A to do the deed of donation. Naintindihan niyo ba yon? Kung ang inaantay ni B University ay kung kailan gustong maitayo yung cornerstone, hanggat hindi na itatayo yung cornerstone, si Mr. A ay hindi obligado na i-donate yung kanyang lupa kay B University. So, naintindihan nyo ba yon? So, to make it more clearer, para mas maintindihan ito, itong si B University now should ask the court about this deed of donation para ma-fix yung period. Para pwedeng lagyan na the cornerstone on the said land bearing the word a campus should be erected 1 year after this deed of donation is signed. So, let's say pinirmahan niya ng January 1, 2021. So, dapat maitayo yung cornerstone on January 1, 2022. Pag sinabing 1 year yung period na binigay ni Mr. A. Pero until such time na hindi pa naitatayo yung cornerstone, yung lupa ay hindi pa pagmamay-ari ni B University. Yung lupa ay pagmamay-ari pa rin ni Mr. A. Now, kung gusto ni B University na mas madali niyang makuha yung lupa, dapat i-shorten niya yung period. He may ask the court to shorten the period at i-estimate niya kung ilang buwan na gagawin yung cornerstone na nire-require ni Mr. A para yung deed of donation may take effect. So, yun ang ibig sabihin ng when a court can fix a period from Article 1197. Okay, so let us now go with Article 1198. This topic discusses when a debtor is going to lose the benefit of the period. So, Article 1198 states that the debtor should lose every right to make use of the period because of a violation of any of the following 5 conditions. So, the first condition is when after the obligation has been contracted, he becomes insolvent unless he gives a guarantee or security for the debt. The second is when he does not furnish to the creditor the guarantees or securities which he has promised. The third is when by his own acts he has impaired said guarantees or securities after their establishment, and when through a fortuitous event they disappear, unless he immediately gives new equally and satisfactorily. Then the fourth is when the debtor violates any undertaking in consideration of which the creditor agreed to the period. Then the last is when the debtor attempts to abscond. Now let us discuss this one by one. So in any of these five situations, or in any of these five situations that is stated in Article 1198, the debtor will lose his right to make use of a period. So meaning any violation of these five conditions, the period will be disregarded and the obligation becomes demandable at once, because this is actually based on the fact that the debtor may not be able to comply with his obligation. So let us discuss them one by one. So the first ground states that when after the obligation has been contracted, he becomes insolvent unless he gives a guarantee or security for the debt. So first, let us discuss kung ano ang ibig sabihin ng insolvent. So kailan pwedeng sabihin na ang isang debtor ay insolvent? So kapag ang pagkakautang or obligation ng isang tao ay mas higit pa sa lahat ng kanyang mga ari-arian or properties, then the debtor is classified as insolvent. Ibig sabihin, hindi niya kayang bayaran ang kanyang mga pagkakautang. So siya ay insolvent. So pag ang isang tao ay insolvent, he is going to lose the benefit of enjoying the period. Let us say, example, Alex borrowed 1 million pesos to Aleta, which is due on December 25, 2021. So let us say, inutang ni Alex ito noong January 1 of 2021 and it will be demandable on December 25, 2021. But let us say after 3 months, nalaman ni Aleta na itong si Alex ay nalulong sa sugal. So naipatalo na yung inutang niyang 1 million peso. And then nalaman niya na wala ng pera sa bangko itong si Alex. Then Aleta will now have the right to demand for the payment of the 1 million peso maski hindi pa dumating yung December 25, 2021, provided that Aleta can show a proof that Alex is now insolvent. Ibig sabihin, mas higit pa ang halaga ng kanyang pagkakautang doon sa halaga ng kanyang mga ari-arian. Dapat magpapakita si Aleta ng proof na itong si Alex ay lubog sa pagkakautang para ma-disregard yung pag-enjoy ni Alex ng period. So, ano ngayon ang pwedeng gawing remedy ni Alex para maibalik sa kanya yung pag-enjoy niya nitong period o kaya ma-delay pa yung pagbayad niya ng utang niya? So let us go with number 2. When he does not furnish to the creditor the guarantees or securities which he has promised. O ibig sabihin, para hindi pa siya singilin ni Aleta, kailangan siyang mag-provide ng other properties o kaya mag-mortgage siya ng additional properties. Let us say, itong si Alex ay meron siyang house and lot na kanyang tinitirhan. Pwede niyang sabihin kay Aleta na idadagdag ko itong titulo ng aking house and lot as an additional collateral doon sa pagkakautang niya para ma-enjoy pa ni Alex yung tinatawag nating period. Ibig sabihin, hindi pa siya sisingilin ni Aleta. That could be one remedy na pwedeng gawin nitong si Alex. Okay. The third is, when by his own act he has impaired said guarantees or securities after their establishment, and when through a fortuitous event they disappear, unless he immediately gives new ones equally satisfactory. So, ano ang ibig sabihin nito? So, kung pagkatapos magbigay nitong si Alex ng mortgage ng kanyang bahay, at biglang itong bahay na ito ay sinunog ni Alex, or biglang nasunog, it was burned down. So again, si Aleta will have the right na i-demand ulit yung pagbayad ni Alex ng kanyang pagkakautang. Not unless itong si Alex is again going to give another guarantee or security doon sa kanyang pagkakautang. O pwede siyang magbigay ng another title of a property para itong si Aleta will have the security that itong si Alex can still pay yung 1 million peso by the time na dumating ang December 25, 2021. Or pwede rin na ganito ang mangyari. When the debtor violates any undertaking in consideration of which the creditor agreed to the period. So ano ang ibig sabihin nito? So let us say si debtor made a promise to render some services to the creditor. Ibig sabihin magsiservice siya doon sa creditor. Pero after pumayag nitong si Aleta na itong si Alex ay magre-render ng services at hindi niya ito ginawa, then again the debtor will lose the right to make use of the period. At itong si Aleta can again ask for the payment of the 1 million peso maski hindi pa dumadating ang December 25, 2021. Then the last is when the debtor attempts to abscond. So ano ang ibig sabihin ng abscond? Ibig sabihin nito, may attempt itong si Alex na takasan yung kanyang pagkakautang. So take note of the word. Ang word dito ay attempt. So yung pag-attempt mo lang na iwanan yung iyong pagkakautang will now give you the punishment or the penalty of losing the benefit of enjoying the period. Ibig sabihin, yung pinagkakautangan mo, pag nalaman niyang meron kang attempt na takasan yung iyong pagkakautang sa kanya, pwedeng i-disregard niya kaagad yung period at i-demand ka na magbayad ng iyong pagkakautang. So take note of this it is mainly an attempt. Hindi pa niya actually ito ginawa, pero meron na siyang attempt o balak na takasan itong kanyang pagkakautang. Itong si Aleta ngayon will immediately have the right to demand Alex for the payment of his obligation. So, kailan masasabing a debtor attempts to abscond? Pwedeng may mag-change siya ng address without informing the creditor. Lumipat siya ng tirahan na hindi niya sinabi doon sa creditor kung saan siya lumipat. That is already classified as an attempt to abscond. So, if the debtor has the attempt to abscond, again, I repeat, the debtor will lose the benefit of enjoying the period. So, why is it that the debtor, or how can a debtor enjoy the benefit of a period? Itong gamit ng period na ito, pag ikaw ay umutang, because of this period na sinasabi natin, pwede mong i-prolong pa yung pagbayad mo ng iyong pagkakautang. So, magkakaroon ka lang ng demand, bibigyan ka lang ng demand to perform or to pay your obligations pag dumating na yung time na naiset as agreed by you and the creditor. So, dapat pangalagaan mo or you have to observe these 5 conditions very well para you as the debtor, hindi mawawala yung benefit mo to enjoy the benefit of the period. So again, class, that ends again our lecture for today. Sana ay may natutunan ulit kayo sa mga diniscuss ko sa inyong mga articles and provision of the Civil Code regarding the different kinds of obligation. So again, thank you very much for listening, and again, see you on our next lecture.